All right, soap fam, grab your wine, your chocolate, maybe a stress ball or two because Genoa City is officially on fire this week. I mean, seriously, if you thought the drama had a limit, forget it. This week, September 22nd through 26, 2025, is serving full-on chaos, power plays, meltdowns, and alliances that are shakier than a Jell-O mold on a roller coaster. And honestly, I don't even know where to start, but let's dive right in. Buckle up. We're talking Billy spiraling, Kane playing puppet master like it's his full-time job, Tracy doing her best. I'm just trying to check on people routine. And everyone else basically caught somewhere between help me and get me out of this mess. And yes, there's love, betrayal, and secrets that could literally sink the Abbott empire if they're not careful. So, let's start from the top. Monday, September 22nd. Oh boy. Monday starts strong, like someone poured espresso into Genoa City's drama machine. And who's back to remind us all how chaotic the Newman Abbott Spencer universe can be? None other than Tracy. She shows up checking on grieving Amy, and just imagine her face when she finds out that Kane really is Dumas. Like, she's standing there like, wait, you're the Kane? And then bam! She finds out that Billy is spiraling and rejecting his own family. Honestly, I feel like we need a therapist on speed dial just for the first 10 minutes of this episode. Speaking of Billy, wow, he goes full meltdown mode. He's ranting about Michael and Phyllis, claiming Kane has isolated him. And honestly, it's kind of a lot. Threats flying left and right, fists metaphorically clenching everywhere. And Michael, of course, Michael is the poor soul tasked with trying to calm him down. Because that's his job. Apparently, peacekeeper of a man who's simultaneously emotional, angry, and just unhinged. And then there's Kane. Always Kane. He's sitting there like the calm storm in the eye of Billy's hurricane. Focus on reconciling with Sally, he says. Don't let this spiral. Yeah, good luck with that, Kane. Billy's not having any of it. He's doubling down. And instead of calming down, he's basically declaring war. I'll make you my enemy, he says, and you can almost hear the drum roll for impending chaos. Meanwhile, Tracy and Michael bond a bit over Billy's troubles. I mean, who wouldn't want to lean on Tracy when the family's going sideways? And later, Tracy and Kane bond too. Naturally, Phyllis sees this connection, and jealousy hits her like a ton of bricks. Classic soap, two people quietly connecting, third person plotting internally. It's like we've seen this a million times, yet it never gets old. Billy, of course, doesn't sit around. He hatches a plan. He ropes in Jack and Diane to take down Kane together. He's convinced Kane is dangerous. And honestly, you can't blame him for thinking that. And then, in a subplot that's quietly simmering, Tessa and Daniel are digging into Mariah's potential troubles. Daniel hears she might not return from Boston, and Tessa wants answers about a violent act she was allegedly involved in. So, already, Monday is throwing us into multi-layered intrigue, family conflict, corporate power plays, and a mystery crime to boot. Tuesday? Oh, Tuesday. It's the day of advice that will probably be ignored. Victoria tells Kyle to back off and give Claire some space. But let's be real here. If history has taught us anything, Kyle is going to completely ignore that advice and escalate things. Of course he is. That's Kyle. Bless his heart. Meanwhile, Claire gets an offer from Holden to join him in L.A. This isn't just casual brunch plans. Fam, this is a full-on life move. L.A. versus Genoa City, hold the drama. She's weighing it, and you know that every soap second of hesitation will be a cliffhanger for fans. And then we have Sally and Audrey navigating their unemployment woes after Billy's latest Abbotcom fiasco. They're trying to figure out what's next, and honestly, I kind of feel for them. But in a soap universe, losing your job doesn't mean you chill for a week. It means chaos, schemes, and probably stealing office supplies from the old boss's desk for revenge. Tuesday feels like the calm before the storm, in some ways, but knowing Genoa City, it's actually more like the simmering lava before the volcano explodes. Wednesday brings a mix of tension, suspicions, and irritation that you can cut with a knife. Audra continues to irritate Kyle, which adds to the electric tension in their dynamic. Honestly, every line these two exchange is basically a verbal wrestling match. I wouldn't be surprised if someone got a black eye in the next episode. Though, soap injuries are usually metaphorical. Meanwhile, Jack and Billy have a confrontation that's tense enough to power a small city. Billy's aggressive behavior regarding Kane is worrying Jack and Diane, and you can feel the room vibrating with unspoken, "This could go sideways at any moment." On another front, Lauren starts smelling something fishy. She knows Michael is hiding something and is growing concerned about his involvement with Victor. And then she discovers he's working with Kane. Cue dramatic gasp. Lauren's concern is fully justified. She's always been the one sniffing out secrets before they explode. And in Genoa City, secrets are basically ticking time bombs. Wednesday's episode is like the glue holding all the previous chaos together. Tensions rising, plans colliding, alliances starting to fracture. Thursday. Things start heating up to a near boiling point. Billy pressures Sally to stay and give him another chance. Classic Billy, never subtle, never quiet. But Sally? She might be done. And honestly, if I were Sally, I'd be like, "I'm out. Find your own spiral, buddy." Meanwhile, Jack reveals a mysterious secret weapon. I'm already intrigued. Is it a program? A person? Some secret corporate play that will turn the tables? We don't know yet, but in soaps, a secret weapon always means someone is about to get blindsided in the next episode. And then Kane faces a choice. Victor offers him a tempting deal to go against Jack and Jabot, but with a catch. The deal disappears if Kane walks away from the train. Yes, the train. Soap writers love their metaphors, and this is classic, literal and figurative high-stakes maneuvering. Kane's choice here could reshape loyalties in Genoa City for months to come. Friday, where surprises, betrayals, and cliffhangers collide. Nikki gets surprising news, possibly about Claire moving to LA. And, Nikki, she's the matriarch, the calming presence, but even she can be thrown for a loop when the younger generation starts shaking up the status quo. Meanwhile, Kane might cut ties with Michael if he discovers Michael is spying for Victor. Or he could make his break from Billy official. Either way, alliances are fraying fast, and we're watching power dynamics shift before our eyes. And then there's Victor and Jack, possibly negotiating a truce. Or is it a manipulation tactic? Honestly, with Victor, you assume manipulation until proven otherwise. There's always a bigger plan, a hidden motive, and maybe a hidden checkbook. Friday leaves us on edge. Everything's unsettled, and Genoa City is basically a powder keg ready to blow. So, let's zoom out for a second, because when you look at this week as a whole, a few big themes stand out. Kane's power play. Kane is moving like a chess master. Every conversation, every alliance, every calm advice moment is really him testing boundaries and watching who he can manipulate or push. He's a key player this week, and he's forcing everyone else to make difficult choices. Billy's spiral. Honestly, I don't know how anyone is still standing around him. He's aggressive, confrontational, and emotionally unstable. And the way he lashes out against Kane, it's classic soap meltdown, but it's also creating ripple effects that will haunt him all week. Alliances and betrayals, from Victor to Jack, Michael, Kane, and even Tracy, Everyone's testing loyalties. Who's going to stick? Who's going to betray? Who's just standing there eating popcorn? Watching these alliances form and fracture is like watching a slow-motion train wreck. And honestly, I can't look away. Tessa and Daniel, these two are basically on a quest for truth regarding Mariah. While the corporate and emotional chaos is dominating the city, Tessa and Daniel are digging into the mystery, adding an investigative twist to the week. And in a city where everyone's hiding secrets, that's no small feat. Love decisions and consequences. From Claire's potential move to LA, to Sally deciding whether to give Billy another chance, to Kyle ignoring advice from Victoria, everyone is making choices with big consequences. And in soap world, those decisions never go smoothly. So, Soap Fam, after a full week of spirals, secret weapons, corporate plays, meltdowns, and potential relocations, what do we take away? Genoa City is messy. Alliances are fragile. Emotions are explosive. And if you blink, you might miss someone being double-crossed, threatened, or falling in love with the wrong person. Kane is the puppet master pulling strings. Billy is the emotional grenade bouncing around town. Victor's lurking with motives that are only partially revealed. And Tessa and Daniel are the moral compass. Well, the slightly morally ambiguous moral compass, trying to make sense of the chaos. Honestly, if you're watching this week, grab snacks, maybe a journal to keep track of who's allied with whom, and prepare for an emotional roller coaster. Because in Genoa City, nothing is ever simple, and next week, oh, honey, next week is going to be even messier. All right, that's it from me for this deep dive. Thanks for sitting through my ramble, letting me fangirl, and obsessing over every move in Genoa City. Remember, in soap operas, nobody is ever safe, loyalty is always negotiable, and meltdowns are a form of art. Catch you next week, same time, same chaos, same wine.
On Monday, the biggest blow-up of the day comes when Claire discovered that Kyle has some kind of hidden deal with Victor. Already furious about his kiss with Audra, Claire didn't take kindly to learning that there were still things he hadn't told her. She went straight to Victor, who actually shocked her by defending Kyle. Victor reminded her that Kyle had passed his so-called test and truly cared for her, but Claire wasn't letting go that easily. Of course, when she caught Kyle later at the coffee house, the fireworks lit up all over again. Kyle had no clue what she was talking about, which only made things worse. For Claire, it felt like yet another betrayal stacked on top of the last. Audra spiraling frustration. Over at Society, Audra was in no mood for peace. After a tense run-in with Claire, she ranted to Sally about how unfair it all felt. Sally tried to steer her away from trouble, warning that the launch party was no place for a meltdown, but Audra wasn't exactly listening. She made sarcastic jokes about Claire spiking her drink and clearly hated the idea of running into her and Kyle in public. Sally, doing damage control, reminded her the Abbott Communications didn't need the drama or the bad press. Still, Audra's frustration bubbled just under the surface, and it wasn't long before Holden stepped in. He didn't mince words, telling Audra to stay away from Claire or risk having some messy history from Los Angeles dragged into the light. And Audra tried to act tough, but Holden reminded her that she was the one who created the mess in the first place. His warning was clear: back off or things would get ugly. Shift in power. Meanwhile, Sally got a rare moment of kindness when Billy loaned her a special piece of jewelry that once belonged to Catherine and was later passed to Delia. It was a small but touching gesture, and Sally planned to wear it for good luck at the launch. Back at Newman Enterprises, Victor surprisingly seemed willing to let Claire make her own decisions for once. But when the topic turned to Audra, there was no hesitation. Victor wanted her gone. Victoria seemed to agree, which could spell serious trouble for Audra's future in Genoa City. So drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe. So Genoa City just got hit with some casting buzz that's got everyone talking. A familiar face from the soap world is heading our way, and the question on every fan's mind is simple. Could this mystery role be Tucker making his grand return? Here's the thing, the show isn't saying much. They're keeping it all very hush-hush, which only makes people more suspicious. When they hide character details, it usually means there's a twist coming. Now let's be honest, Tucker is the kind of role you don't just walk away from quietly. His exit felt rushed, unfinished, like there was still so much chaos left on the table. And that's why this theory is catching fire. The timing is way too perfect. Tucker slipped out of town back in June, and now we suddenly get word of a big-name soap vet coming in? Come on, the dots practically connect themselves. Fans have already been tossing around the idea online, saying he'd be a killer fit to pick up where Tucker left off. But here's the juicy part. Tucker isn't exactly new to swapping faces. Remember, he's already been recast before. That role has changed hands and history could repeat itself. Honestly, it almost feels like tradition at this point. One Tucker exits, another steps in, and the drama keeps rolling. Of course, there's always the chance this new arrival isn't Tucker at all. He could be playing someone completely original, like a wild card who shakes things up in ways no one saw coming. But does Genoa City really need another random new guy floating around? Or would it make more sense to bring back a character who already has deep ties and unfinished business with nearly everyone in town? And if you want to go full circle soap irony, the actor stepping into Tucker's shoes would actually be flipping the script on history. Because years ago, he and the last Tucker actor already swapped roles on another show. It's like the soap gods are having too much fun with this one. So here's the real question. Is Tucker about to storm back into Genoa City with a brand new face, ready to cause just as much trouble as before? Or are we being led down a rabbit hole while the show cooks up an entirely different surprise? One thing's for sure, whatever they're planning, it's going to be big. So stay tuned, because if this is Tucker 2.0, you won't want to miss a second of the fallout. And hey, before you go, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss any of the twists and turns when this mystery finally explodes on screen. There's never a dull day in Genoa City, and the upcoming episodes prove that even more. Things are going to heat up with betrayals, power moves, and the arrival of someone who could turn everything upside down. First, let's talk about Kyle. Remember that little contract he signed? The one that seemed harmless at the time? Yeah, that's about to become a ticking time bomb. Victor refused to tear it up, and honestly, can you blame him? That piece of paper gives him the ultimate upper hand. If Kyle so much as breaks Claire's heart, Victor can take a cool $5 million and banish him from Genoa City. And given how things are going, heartbreak feels almost guaranteed. Claire's emotions are fragile, and when everything blows up, Victor might just make good on his threat. Could Kyle really be forced to pack his bags? For a while it sure looks that way, unless Jack finds a way to save his son, or Claire herself steps in at the last moment. Old flames and new faces stir the pot. Meanwhile, Kane is working overtime to win Lily back, and if you saw her reaction to that emotional video, you know he's making progress. She's trying hard to keep those walls up, but some cracks are definitely showing. The big question? Will she finally agree to a date? Just one. That's all Kane wants for now. But let's be real, this is Genoa City. Even a single date night can end in disaster. One wrong move, one careless word, and this second chance could go up in smoke. And with Lily's trust issues still front and center, things could get messy fast. And then there's the mystery woman everyone's about to be talking about. Sienna is on her way to town, and while her reason for coming are under wraps, one thing's clear. She's not showing up for tea and small talks. She's got connections and she's got an agenda. Dangerous energy? Oh, absolutely. The kind of energy that turns lives upside down. Who's on her radar? That's the million-dollar question. But one thing's for sure, when she hits Genoa City, chaos won't be far behind. Buckle up, things are about to get seriously complicated. See you in the next one, guys. Take care.